Imagine a world hanging in the balance, its fate to be decided in a single day. In the autumn of 331 BC, on a vast, dusty plain near Gaugamela, history was about to be rewritten. On one side, the young Macedonian king, Alexander the Great, with a disciplined army of just 40,000 soldiers. On the other, the Persian king of kings, Darius III, commanding a colossal force of over 200,000 men. The odds were impossible, a true David versus Goliath showdown. Darius had chosen this ground meticulously. It was flat, wide, and perfectly suited for his most terrifying weapon, the scythed war chariots. Designed to shred enemy formations, he was confident that his overwhelming numbers would simply swallow the Macedonians whole. But Alexander possessed weapons that couldn't be counted, tactical genius, an unwavering belief in his destiny, and the absolute loyalty of his men. The night before the battle was a study in contrasts. Darius, consumed by anxiety, paced his tent, unable to sleep, the weight of his empire pressing down on him. Meanwhile, Alexander, calm and composed, slept soundly under the stars. His confidence was infectious. At dawn, he rose, donned his magnificent, gleaming armor, and mounted his legendary warhorse Bucephalus. As the morning sun caught his polished helmet, it blazed like a star. To his men, he wasn't just a king, he was a demigod, the very embodiment of victory. The battle began with a terrifying roar as the Persian army surged forward. Thousands of scythed chariots thundered across the plain, their spinning blades a blur of death. It was a spectacle designed to induce pure terror. But Alexander had prepared for this. On his command, the Macedonian infantry opened their ranks, creating channels through the formation. The chariots, their momentum now useless, passed straight through, only to be ambushed and neutralized from the sides and rear. The first Persian gambit had failed. Amidst the chaos of battle, Alexander's eagle eye spotted what he had been waiting for: a momentary weakness, a gap opening near the center of the Persian line, close to Darius himself. This was his moment. Gathering his elite companion cavalry, the finest horsemen in the world, he let out a fearsome war cry and led the charge himself. They formed a spearhead, a living wedge aimed directly at the heart of the Persian Empire. The impact was cataclysmic. The Macedonian cavalry, with Alexander at its very tip, slammed into the Persian infantry with unstoppable force. They carved a path of destruction, shattering ranks and sowing panic. From his command chariot, Darius saw the unthinkable happening. He saw the gleaming helmet of Alexander, getting closer and closer, a relentless force of nature coming straight for him. In that moment, his courage broke. The King of Kings, the ruler of the known world, turned his chariot and fled the field in a panic. The sight of their king abandoning them shattered the morale of the Persian army. The chain of command disintegrated, and what was once a disciplined force dissolved into a terrified mob. Soldiers threw down their weapons and ran for their lives. The battle had turned into a rout. But just as Alexander prepared to give chase to Darius and end the war for good, a desperate message reached him. His left flank, commanded by his trusted general Parmenion, was on the verge of collapse. Here, Alexander faced a defining choice: pursue personal glory and capture Darius, or turn back to save his men. Without hesitation, he chose leadership over ambition. He abandoned the chase and wheeled his cavalry around, charging back into the fray to rescue his beleaguered soldiers. It was this decision that truly sealed his legend, not just as a conqueror, but as a king who fought for his men. By sunset, the battle was over. The field of Gaugamela was littered with the fallen. The once mighty Persian army was utterly annihilated. In a single day, the Achaemenid Empire, which had dominated the world for over 2 centuries, had ceased to exist, and Alexander, at the age of just 25, was now the undisputed master of Asia. The Battle of Gaugamela was more than just a military victory. It was the birth of a legend. It was the moment a mortal man, through sheer will, courage, and genius, seized control of destiny itself. Alexander the Great had not only conquered an empire, he had conquered his place in history for all time. Thank you for watching. If you were captivated by this incredible story, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next journey into the past. See you next time.